Hello and welcome to Redbeard Gets Technical. I'm Redbeard. Let's get technical. Today we're taking a look at the driver for AMD's Radeon graphics cards. There have been several known issues with the drivers for these cards, specifically the RX 5000 series, causing such issues as black screen crashes, green screen crashes, and stuttering or freezing during gameplay. Now, for most of these issues, crash logs point not to the drivers, but usually to Radeon Software as the culprit. So today, I will show you how to install your Radeon drivers without installing Radeon Software. Let's go to the computer. Okay, so as you can see, I've got both monitors up. Both of these monitors are currently displaying a signal. We pull up Device Manager. And under Display Adapters, you see Radeon RX 5700 XT. And if we go to Properties, it will tell us on the driver that the driver version is 26.20.15029.27016. Driver dates from April 21st, 2020. Now, there is a new driver that has come out for AMD cards, and we are going to install it today just so that I can show you exactly what I did to get my system to run without Radeon Software. First of all, you're going to want to wipe any drivers that you currently have on your system. I have already downloaded the AMD cleanup utility to use AMD's software to get rid of AMD's software. So navigate to where you have that item saved to. Right-click, Run as Administrator. It's going to ask you if you want to reboot in safe mode. I strongly recommend rebooting into safe mode. This process will remove AMD drivers and applications such as graphics drivers, audio drivers, and Radeon software. This process will not remove or modify any AMD chipset drivers. So we're going to run the Radeon software cleanup utility. Cleanup utility has successfully completed. We'll click Finish. It's going to ask if you want to reboot. Now, we're not going to, because after doing this, I'm also going to run Display Driver Uninstaller, or DDU. So we're going to navigate to where I've got it saved at. Run it as administrator as well. So select GPU, select AMD, and then click Clean and Restart. Okay, we're back up and running, and as you can see, I have an output on my monitor on the left, my main monitor. However, I don't have any output on the monitor on the right. That's because we're currently running on Microsoft's basic display adapter rather than any kind of drivers for the card. So what we're going to do is we are going to navigate to where we have the most recent Radeon drivers downloaded to, which in my case is here. And the most recent addition that I'm going to be installing is the 20.5.1 Adrenaline drivers that were issued on May 27th. So go ahead and double click on that. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up the unpacker. And this is going to unpack all of these files to this default directory. Don't bother changing it. I'll show you where it is here in a minute. Just go ahead and click install. And this unpacker is going to run. It's going to uninstall, or it's going to unpack all of these drivers. It is going to place them into a folder, and it's going to unpack the installer for Radeon Software and place it in the same folder. However, we're not going to be using that. Now, once this is finished unpacking, you're going to see that it launches the Radeon Software 2020 edition installer. So we're going to give it a second to get where it wants to go, which is right here. It's going to ask you to install. At this point, you're not going to install. So click on cancel instead of install. Cancel installation, yes. So from here, we're going to go back to our device manager. We are going to go to display adapters and right click on Microsoft Basic Display Adapter, select update driver, browse my computer for software, and we are going to browse to the folder that it unpacked all of this to. Now, because I've already done this process before, it's already filled in for the 20.4.2 drivers, which is what I was running a minute ago. We're going to go and we're going to select the folder for the 20.5.1 drivers. Once you select that folder, click OK. Make sure that it has include subfolders selected, and make sure that it does display the 20.5.1 up here. At this point, you just click Next. It is going to install. As you can see, we now have successfully installed RX 5700 XT drivers. We now have 2 displays, both up and running. This display I currently have set for 1440, which is what this display is. The second display I have set for 1080. Now, the downside of installing the drivers this way, rather than installing drivers using Radeon Software, is you do not have access in this format to virtual super resolution. So you cannot scale this display up and output a higher quality signal than what the display natively supports. This is a native 1440p display. That's a native 1080 display. So I'm not going to be able to send a higher signal to it. On top of that, I'm also not going to be able to use Radeon FreeSync, which some people really, really like. Unfortunately, on the RX 5700 XT cards, the FreeSync seems to cause more problems than it solves. So, by installing the drivers only without Radeon Software, you kind of get around all of that. So from this point, everything's pretty much already done. All you would need to do is go ahead and do a restart just to ensure that everything is good. So we're going to perform a restart, and once the computer comes back up, we're good to go. All right, now the computer is back up and running. So there you have it. If Radeon Software is causing your system to have issues, you now know how to install the drivers without the software. There needs to be a note here, however. Installing these drivers without the associated software will prevent you from using such features as FreeSync, Virtual Super Resolution, and Global Watt Mount. Additionally, MSI Afterburner has been known to cause issues with these cards due to the unique properties of the Navi architecture these cards are built on. That being said, if you have tried all other options and you're not willing to RMA your new graphics card, this may be your best option. I'd like to extend a shout out to David from David Does Tech Stuff for his help in setting up some of my B-roll shots for the intro, as well as offering his advice and support in creating this video. As this is the inaugural video for my channel, he played a large part in getting me started. Thanks again, David. A link to his channel will be in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'm Redbeard, and we'll see you next time.